Hello, just want to do a quick recap of my wife and I's stay at the Hotel Xcaret, Mexico. We were able to stay here for 7 days. This is our last morning, getting ready to fly back home. I'm currently relaxing on my hammock and wanted to give a quick review of everything that we experienced at Hotel Xcaret, and it might help a few of you make a decision as to whether or not you would come here. Just to give you a little bit of background, we're staying in the beginning of June 2019. So the hotel's been open now, I think now for 3 years. We stayed for 7 nights, 8 days. We booked it through a travel agent. And just wanted to give you a quick recap of everything that we experienced, both good and bad. And I will tell you right off the bat that it was a vast majority good than bad, but there were some things that we kind of wished were a little bit different. And I'll share some of those things, but I'll also share some of the good things as well and kind of try to break it down into a couple of different categories. But first of all, I just want to get the cons of the hotel out of the way. There were a few, but they weren't anything that dissuaded us from the hotel. But I do want to share with some of those with you, just so that maybe it might be better for you if you were to come here. Number one, when we got to Cancun Airport, since we booked it through a travel agency, we booked it through Apple Vacations, we were under the impression that we needed to take the Apple Transport, and so we went through the airport. There's a lot of people that try to get you to take a taxi. We just walked through all of those people and went outside to try to find the Apple representatives. And the Apple representatives had no idea where we needed to go. They had us in 3 different lines to try to get to the hotel. They kept trying to get us to go to the Occidental Hotel, which I knew that's not where we needed to go. No one understood where we needed to go and how we could get there. So we finally did get on a bus with several other people to go to the hotel. We found out that we were the only ones on that transfer bus that was going to the Hotel Xcaret. And so we had to travel with this bus to drop these other families off at these other resorts. So we got to the airport at 11. We flew in at 11, and we did not get to our hotel until 2 p.m. So theoretically, what's supposed to take 45 minutes took us 3 hours. And we had an early flight. We got there early. We got to the airport at like 5 o'clock in the morning. So we ate a really early breakfast, and by the time that we got to the hotel, we were hungry, we were hot, because the bus had very little air conditioning. We were tired, we were ready to go to our room. We knew that our room probably wasn't going to be ready till 3 because that's what they told us. So we were expecting that. We expected that our room wasn't going to quite be ready, but when we got to the hotel, the check-in process is outside. There is a nice lobby. It's beautiful. You'll have some great first impressions. I'll talk about those, about good things here in a minute. And there was a breeze, but it was still outside, and it was still hot. And we were wore out, and the lobby was extremely full, extremely busy. The people were helping us, but we had to stand in line for a long time. And so by the time that we did get ready to check in, it was almost 3 o'clock. So we expected for us to be able to just get into our room. But they told us that it wasn't ready because we wanted a king-size bed, and the only one that was available was 2 queens. And so they asked if we wanted to wait another 15 minutes for a king, and I'd wait for 15 minutes. So they told us that we could go eat, that we could set up our schedule for the week, which we didn't want to do because we were so exhausted. We just wanted to sit down somewhere and eat and relax. And so we went to the Mercado. We'll talk about food and restaurants here in a little bit, but we went down to the Mercado and ate. And we went back to the front desk about 3:30, and the room still was not available. And so they told us it was going to be another 15 minutes. And I didn't mean to be rude or anything like that, but I just said, you know, if it's only going to be 15 minutes, I'll just get in the back of the line because it takes 15 minutes to get through the line. And I think that she knew when I said that I was a little frustrated. So she said, give me 15 minutes. I'm going to make a few phone calls and we will make sure that you get into the right room. And they came back 15 minutes later. And they did make it up to us tremendously because they gave us a room upgrade. We ended up staying. We got a Riverview suite. That's what we booked, and then they ended up giving us an upgrade into the Casa Agua, which I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Which is a Riverview suite, but it's a step up. It's like a adults only section, and it's very nice. And so they did go out of their way to make that right for us. And I guess from what they told me, these rooms are like an extra $180 a night. So they did make it up in a big way. So that was very nice. That was worth all that hassle at the very beginning. So that part was just a little bit of a rough impression for us. Because we were just so tired, so wore out, and then just to come into something so busy and a little chaotic just was not very good for us, especially me trying to convince my wife that this hotel was extremely awesome because of all of the stalking and research I had done on the internet about how awesome the place was. So that was a little rough, but well, a couple other things that I'll talk about that are the cons. It felt like that they were extremely happy to see us and went out of their way to see us when we first got here, especially even the cleaning service, the cleaning people. Very nice, very friendly. The room smelled amazing. They had some sort of almost smelled like a cologne air freshener in the room. It was very nice. The room was immaculate, very well stocked with everything, but it seemed like as the week progressed, especially with the cleaning, they just didn't care as much. It was harder and harder for them to, they were cleaning our room later and later in the day, and they didn't keep the things that were there restocked. Our room does not smell at anything like it did when we first got here, so I guess they don't keep respraying whatever it is they sprayed that smelled so good. And so honestly, it just felt like they kind of care less and less as you are here. Those that know you have been here a while. But still very friendly, very nice. Definitely not rude or anything like that. Just not going out of their way to show you that you are that you're special, I guess, which is what you kind of expect in an all-inclusive resort. So I want to talk a little bit about the hotel itself in a few different categories, and I will tell you the things that were good about it and the things that we kind of didn't like. But I wanted to get those first few cons out of the way, just to let you know. Our room at the resort, I believe, was an upgrade, like I said before, but it was extremely nice. One of the things that they told us that was in all of the rooms are this onyx shell that is handmade, hand chiseled, or however they made it, I think. And it's a really neat. It's just kind of a centerpiece on everybody's desk in their room. And we looked one up in the lobby to see if it was how much it would be to buy one. It's like $375. It's just a really neat piece. They also have on the wall a hand-stitched tapestry that they told us takes about a year for someone to actually make. So that's one thing that you notice immediately when you walk in the room is that it's done well. And it's got genuine Mexican craftsmanship. The room, my wife would probably be able to give a better review because she likes those kind of things. But The room was very nice. It had a king bed. It had a very private bathroom area. The shower was over the top amazing. It had a waterfall shower. The shower had its own steam room that you could have in the shower. It had a jacuzzi tub that was very nice. Also had a little eating a table, a private table that you could sit at and eat if you wanted to order room service or just sit at a table. Had a couch that you could sit at as well. A TV that was very nice. It had a few local channels, but you could Chromecast from any mobile device to your TV, so that was nice. But probably what's the greatest part of the whole entire room is the deck that overlooks, just for us, just a beautiful river. The deck has 2 hammocks. It has a private bath. It's not really a jacuzzi tub, but it's just a really nice outdoor bath that you can have. It has another lounging chair. It was a great place for us just to relax, just to spend some time together. We really enjoyed the deck with the overlook. We barely saw a single person from our deck. It was just a wonderful place for us to relax and unwind, and it really is what made this experience worth it for us. Just this room and this privacy and just the beauty of it. What's amazing about this hotel is that you get to choose, I think, between 8 different Xcaret activities that you can do for absolutely free, and that's awesome. We decided that we weren't going to try to do something every single day, because we've done that before, and it just wears you out. We've gone on several cruises before where you have to get up at a certain time, and that, you know, if you want to do anything during that day, then you got to get out of the boat or the room or whatever at a certain time, and you're gone all day long, and you get back and you're just completely exhausted, and you got to get up and you got to get real nice and go to dinner. And so we decided that we were going to do things a little bit different with this vacation, that we were going to try to space it out a little bit. And that's actually something I would recommend as well. I mean, if you are looking for adventure, you could have adventure every single waking moment of your time here at the hotel. But that's not what we decided to do. We decided to do 3 different Xcaret parks. And then we also spent a little bit of time exploring Playa del Carmen. I've done a review for those other parks, but I will mention which ones they were, and just a quick overview of each of those parks. The first park that we went to was Savage, which is like their adrenaline park. And when we went to Savage, basically the concierge told us that we could do 3 activities for free that were included with our hotel. If you did any more than 3, you would have to pay extra for those. He also told us that it was an all-day activity. We would leave at 8:30, and that we would get home at 5:30. It was actually 6. So we prepared for an all-day adventure for that. But we found out really quickly at the park that the 3 activities did not take us all day. We were not able to take an early ride back. So we wasted a lot of time at Savage. Savage was fun. There was a lot of activities there that we did enjoy, and you can see my Savage blog for that. But we wasted a good half day there that we could have been doing anything else. I would have even rather been lounging on this very hammock than spending the other rest of that half day at Savage. So that part was frustrating a little bit. We spent another day, a couple days later, at Explore Fuego, which is just Explore at night. Explore is a park that has, I think, 7 different activities that you can do. Every single one of them you'll get wet on. But it was extremely fun. I mean, my wife and I both loved it. She's not as much of a daredevil as I am, and got a little bit concerned on the zip lines, because the zip lines are amazing. I do have a blog post on that as well. But we enjoyed our time at Explore Fuego. there's a couple of parks that are so close to Xcaret Hotel that you can go whenever you want and you can come back whenever you want, because there's transportation that takes you to and from every 20 minutes. So that is very nice, because we could go to explore when we wanted to and we could leave when we wanted to. So we didn't stay till the end of the end of the night. We left a little bit early, but we were able to do all of our activities and it was great. We still were able to get back to our hotel at a decent time. And the last activity that we did through Xcaret was Xcaret Park. We did not do all the activities. You can see my blog post on that. We did enjoy the Mexico Spectacular. I will highlight that. That in itself is enough to go to Xcaret. If you're able to go at night, go to the Mexico Spectacular. It is an amazing performance, is really what it is. It's incredible. It's probably one of the best things I've ever seen. Xcaret Park is awesome. There's a lot of things to do there. We did not do all of the things that there are to do there, simply because we wanted to save our energy for the night show. And I highlight all of that in my Xcaret Park blog post. But as I mentioned earlier, it's so close. They actually provide a boat transportation for you to take a boat from the hotel to Xcaret Park, which we did, and we really enjoyed. It was very nice. But we also, the first time we went during the first part of the day, we actually walked to Xcaret Park, and it was a 15-minute walk. And so it was not a bad walk at all. We enjoyed it, and we saw a lot of things on the way there, and we enjoyed our time walking there. Let me talk a little bit about the park, the hotel itself, because the hotel is a very sprawling, massive property. One of the things that you'll notice right away is that they're constantly building. They're building more hotels, more casas is what we're staying in. And you can see that construction process if you kind of walk and wander a little bit, and we did. The property is so amazingly laid out that you can take trails everywhere. The rivers that they have, the inlet rivers, are very sprawling throughout the entire property, and you can walk these trails above these rivers and almost get lost, really. We walked for quite some time on one of our days, just kind of for some exercise and from exploration, and we walked for 6 miles from when we left our room until when we came back. So you can imagine how many trails that is to walk 6 miles. And it is beautiful. We saw wildlife, we saw iguanas, we saw macaws, we saw birds, we saw all kinds of fauna. It's a beautiful piece of property. So that part of it I highly recommend. I mean, there's a lot of things to do just here within the hotel itself. You can kayak, you can paddleboard, all on the resort. And so it is an amazing resort just for its size and the amount of property that it has for you to explore is pretty amazing. There isn't a whole lot of things that you can do on the resort for adults and maybe even for kids. The only things that they offer, they do have weight rooms, they do have the kayaking, the paddleboarding, the trails, and they also have a tennis court. But beyond that, as far as activities, they really don't have too many activities. They do have some entertainment throughout the day, and in the evening they'll have performers that will come and sing. There will be mariachi performers. There will be just a lot of things like that during the day. One of the things that I do know that they have done, but we were not here to see it, is that they do have some of the performers from Xcaret come over that are more of the tribal Mayan performers, and they show that culture, which we didn't get to see, so we were kind of bummed about that. And there's lots of swimming pools. There's basically a swimming pool spread out through all of the whole property. You'll be able to find a pool that's within very close walking distance. We found our favorite pool. It was a heated pool that we really enjoyed, and so we spent a lot of time in the pool, which we really did like. It was just it was nice. It was not crowded, and so we really enjoyed that time that we could spend in the pool. I'll show some pictures of that. The rivers, we swam in the rivers some. My wife didn't really want to swim in the rivers too much, but I did. And it was nice. It was fun. We did spend a time at the beach, which is not really a beach because the ocean was a red flag. So we weren't able to swim in the actual ocean. But what's really nice about the hotel is that they have these river inlets that has the ocean water. That they've created these beaches on these river inlets. So you are swimming in ocean, but you can't see the ocean. So it's a sandy beach. You know, it was fun, but it's not like, you know, laying on the beach and being able to see in the expanse of the ocean. You're not really able to do that. You can go to the ocean and you can lounge by the ocean, but because of the waves and the rough water, we were not able to swim in the ocean. And it's a beautiful view. It's more of a rocky coast, although there is some sandy places to swim. I'm going to talk for a little bit about the food. My wife especially and I are not much for exploring new foods. And that was kind of a challenge for us because a lot of the restaurants and menu options were all authentic Mexican, and that was a challenge for us because it was some things that we tried, a lot of things that we tried, and some things we just didn't like. They had very exotic things on their menu, like octopus and crickets and just you know, combinations of food we would never think to try. Some things that we tried were very, very good. That our waiter at the cantina suggested, and it was very good. He did a great job suggesting those things. But other things that we tried, we really didn't care much for. They have several types of restaurants here. They have several buffets that you can go to that are all kind of unique. They have smaller buffets. They have the Mercado, which is their bigger buffet, which is kind of set up like a marketplace where you can choose the different types of things, but mostly are all Mexican options. We ended up finding things throughout the week that we really did like and did enjoy, but there were things that we really didn't. They do have several other just sit-down order type of restaurants. One of those was the Cantina that we did like. They also have a really nice Mexican cuisine restaurant that you can pay for to go to that is supposed to be incredible, but we did not want to do that because we were trying not to spend any money whatsoever while we were here. We also scheduled to go to the Las Cuevas, which is the Brazilian steakhouse. That restaurant's in a cave down by the beach, and we really liked that place. It was very good. Basically, it's just like a traditional Brazilian steakhouse, where you go to like a buffet area to get all of your sides, appetizers and things like that, and then they just continually bring around, I think it was 18 different types of meats for you to try. Most of them were very good. Some of them were very odd. There was some things that I tried everything, just about everything that they offered to me, and some things I didn't like, and they were too exotic for me. I couldn't hardly do it. Some of the most exotic things that they offered was cow tongue, which I tried and didn't care for, and cow glands, which were almost, they were fried, I think. And I didn't care for that either. I'm actually surprised I even tried it. but I just didn't really care much for that. But everything else was absolutely amazing. And then we also made reservations to go to the dinner theater, which is the Teatro del Rio, which we were able to do last night. And that was a great experience. The food, like I said, was they only had one thing on the menu. So what was on the menu is what they gave you, but it was like a 4-course meal. Things that we would not typically choose from a menu. This night it was mahi mahi and some sort of, I don't know, rice, I don't know, had like a corn, I'm not sure what it was. It was pretty good, but it was not something that we would order, and it was not very much. And we ended up coming back to the room and ordering a cheeseburger from room service after it was over. But the show was worth it. It was very much worth it. It was amazing. It was all about the culture of Mexico, and it was singing and dancing and musical performances, and it was outstanding. So we really enjoyed that a lot. But I wanted to just give a kind of a last minute, getting ready to go home, would we come back review. And I think that my wife and I both said that if we were able to afford another vacation in this area, this is where we would come again. Just because of how all-inclusive it really is. We came here, we spent a lot in comparison to what we normally spend for ourselves on vacation, but we came here and we didn't have to spend any money. And that's a really incredible thing for us on a vacation. We did spend a little bit of money tipping a few people, and we spent a little money on souvenirs for our kids in Playa del Carmen. But we didn't have to spend anything extra. We didn't have to buy an upgrade at a park or spend anything extra at the hotel on food or drinks or anything like that. We didn't have to spend anything extra. And especially for my wife, that's been an amazing thing. Because we knew how much we were going to have to save and spend for this vacation, and we didn't have to worry about anything extra. And that really is an amazing thing. It really is an all fun inclusive package. And if we had the opportunity to come back again, we would. The pros of the resort far outweigh the cons. And we really enjoyed ourselves. We spent a lot of time relaxing on our hammock that we have right here, and just enjoyed the beauty of our surroundings. And so I think as just a final review, we would recommend coming to the Hotel Xcaret. It's, in our minds, it's worth the cost because of all of the parks that are included, because every park is $150 a person to go to. And we didn't even get to do even half of the things that were offered. So just as a final review, my wife and I would both recommend coming to the Hotel Xcaret. All right, see you later.